appreciate y'all being here. Obviously disappointed in the outcome of the game and how we didn't finish there on that very last play. But I really thought our kids played hard. I thought they came and played physical for 60 minutes and did some really nice things against a quality opponent. We need to eliminate our critical errors on special teams. That's haunted us for the last 2 weeks. And we've got to clean up and play better in some critical situations and make better decisions in those moments. But looking forward to cleaning that up this week in practice and continuing to grow as a team. You know, our atmosphere this weekend on our first home game was incredible, and that's a testament to all the work that's been done by our administration and all our volunteer help. But really, really proud of our students and what they did and came out and really showed out and made an atmosphere that was, something, maybe hadn't been seen here in a while. And so happy about that. Obviously wanted to send them home a winner, but we'll continue to get better. And we got another great opportunity this weekend with a ranked opponent in Austin Peay coming in here, who came off a big win over Moorhead. So looking forward to that game. And with that, I'll open it up to any questions.
What specifically makes Austin Peay so good this year, and the fact that kind of an early look at another conference opponent joining soon?
Yeah. Well, we welcome them to the now to the ASUN next year. So glad they made that decision. I think it's a great decision, obviously for them, but being a former player there, but it's I think adds great value to our conference. But yeah, they've got a quarterback that is dangerous both on his feet and in the air. Has played 7 straight games now. He's a young guy, but he played in the spring and now he's following back up with with his fall performance. And I think the one thing, and then defensively, they've got a All-American there at Jackson at number 13, and he didn't play last week, but we expect him to play against us. And so they've got quality players. They're very athletic. They've got good speed, both at all skill positions, and they're big up front on both sides of the ball. And they got a quarterback that can make things happen. So quality opponent. The biggest thing I'd say about Austin Peay is in the last 2, 3, 4 years that they've been winning, and they understand. And players on their team. I'm sure half of their players on their team had won the conference championship in 2019 and went into the quarterfinals in the FCS playoffs. So they expect to win. We expect to win. So it should be a great 60-minute matchup again.
Coach, we kept hearing about the new changes that they were making to Roy Kidd Stadium, with the tailgating experience and then the on-the-field experience. But, I don't think nobody could have really imagined that it would be as awesome as it was. Just talk about how everything culminated with you all coming down onto the field and the pyrotechnics and the fireworks, and just how awesome of a day it was. Yeah, y'all didn't get the win, but just the production of the game itself was pretty incredible.
Yeah, I think, again, Matt Roan and his staff has done a great job of trying to create a game day atmosphere and an atmosphere in Richmond, Kentucky that people can come and enjoy a quality football game, which I think they saw, although the results are not what none of us wanted. But quality football game, quality experience on campus and in Richmond. And I think it's a viable option for everybody to come be a part of. And I think all the upgrades to everything, I think getting the students involved in the game on the hill with the rundown, eventually we are going to have it to where the students can run down with us. We're working through some COVID protocols and different things like that. I don't know if it'll happen this year, but that is something that we have talked about and excited about, and different opportunities for people to do that. I think you saw, the excitement in our players, but also in everybody that was in the stands. And so, I think the young men that are on the call here that you'll have a chance to talk to will be able to do that and express on that more. But I thought, our fans brought it, especially there at the end, and, all throughout the night, to be honest with you. It was really, you can hear it. Sometimes you don't hear it at all because you get your headsets on and you're going through everything that you do. But every comment that I had from people that were at the game were very, very positive. So very pleased with that. And kudos to our administration for doing that. And like I said, you cannot thank our students enough. They were critical in this. they have to be, we got to have them back this week. Got to.
Hey, Coach, kind of tell us a little bit about your emotions going against your former team. I don't know if you've ever coached against Austin Peay before at any level, Western or anything. And then I know you guys don't like to give away too much information, but you had a lot of kids banged up the last couple of weeks. Can you give us an update on some of those guys?
Yeah. You know, we're in the same situation as we were in. We're day to day with a couple of guys, Roy Baker and a couple of guys on our team this week. We'll find out more as we get through the week. Don't really know anything that has changed from Saturday night yet. All the guys that were out are still out from the last week. Last week's performance, we haven't gotten anybody back yet. So should get some of them back as we go into the next week potentially. But right now, that's where we're at with the injuries. Going against Austin Peay, you know, my brother's a graduate and I played there. And, you know, we have a lot of fond memories of being in Clarksville, a lot of great teammates, a lot of great friends for life. And, you know, those are the bonds that you make. I had the opportunity to coach against them 1 year here. I think it was 97 was the only year that I coached against them here at EKU, and then coached against them once, the best I can remember, at Western Kentucky. So 06, I think, is when that was, but maybe 12, I think. I guess that's 3 times. But yeah, it's fun. The week, you know, the leading up to the game, I get a bunch of phone calls from a bunch of old players and a bunch of teammates and things like that. But this game is not about that. It's about, you know, a really quality football team coming in and our football team and those guys that are playing in that game. And, you know, there's really not a lot of emotion there for me. We have to go and do our job and take victory and win the game.
Coach, you kind of did this a little bit earlier, but, you know, Kentucky's on the road, Louisville's on the road, Kentucky plays later after you. What kind of pitch would you make to fans, say, you know, Lexington area, to kind of come down and check out EKU, you know, before they watch the Cat?
I definitely think that it's a quality experience for them. If they're looking for any type of, you know, I don't want to suggest it like that, but anything to do on the weekend, on Saturday, you know, I've just looked at the weather and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be almost like a fall day. I think we're going to have a great atmosphere. We've got a bunch of men down here on both sides of the ball, you know, on our team and on Austin Peay team, that are quality players and that are going to go out there and fight and battle each other for victory. And if you want to come and have a great experience in Richmond, Kentucky, if you want to come and enjoy the atmosphere, I mean, our game day atmosphere was electric, to be quite honest with you, the other night. And, you know, I know we're making some minor changes to help improve that. And so the quality that they're going to see is great. I think Kentucky fans found that out last week when they played Chattanooga. There's good football at this level. So come down to EKU, come down to Richmond. We've got everything you want in the stadium. We've got the lights. We've got, you know, the beverages. We've got anything that you want to do to enjoy yourself. Plenty of tailgate room. It's wide open. We got great restaurants in our town for later to go watch the Kentucky Wildcats play. We've got everything that you want here, but come give our guys a chance. And because they play extremely hard. And I want to get back to that because they played extremely hard. They played their guts out the other night. Did we make some critical mistakes? We sure did. Did I make some critical mistakes? I'm sure we all made some mistakes, and we've got to continue to get better. But come watch us play and give these young men a chance because they're great guys.
Coach, so when that last play happened, you know, what was going through your mind? And then what did you tell your team afterward to kind of, you know, lift their spirits up because you're right back at it this week?
Well, guys, I mean, I think you look at it every Saturday in college football. I mean, blowouts are far and few between. I mean, again, there's good football players everywhere, and there's good teams everywhere, and you have to play 60 minutes. You know, quite frankly, we played 59 and 58 seconds, and we had some critical errors on that last play that can't happen. And so, you know, when the play was happening, I was confident in the call. We had practiced it 4 or 5 times that week in that situation, and we knew where we were at. it just didn't happen for us for for the reasons that we know now, but we have to correct those, and we have to make sure we make those situations. I thought about calling the timeout right before. I just called one and got a look. They changed the formation. I thought about calling another one. But me and Jake were talking on the phones, and I felt confident, and he felt confident that we were going to make the plays, and so we let it roll. And it didn't work out for us, but we got that corrected yesterday, and we're going to move forward from that. I told the team the same thing I just told you. It's 60 minutes. We have to play full 60 minutes. We have to cut out the critical errors. You can't have the critical errors that we had in special teams and that we had at times on offense and defense and expect to beat good opponents. You've got to eliminate those to have a chance to win the game. And that's where we're going to continue our focus and get better. But, we came out and we met yesterday and we had good meetings, I think. And like I said, you got two guys on here you can talk to that are great representatives of our program. And I think we went out and had a different energy in practice yesterday, which I thought was in a different focus, which I thought we needed, and it was good to see happen.
What did you see in the second half? Yeah, no green machine this time. What did you see in the second half about play calling? There was a stretch you threw the ball 12 times in a row and kind of went away from the run game a little. Were you not satisfied with the run, or what did you see maybe from the passing game?
I think we got a little. I think we weren't producing in the run game like we wanted to. And then we kept getting behind the chains on first and second down. And so we decided that, we could attack them with how they were dropping 8. We could probably attack them a little better with the short passing game, and then how they were giving us a look and then giving us all the internal run blitzes that they were doing, that we could get some holes in there and Parker could find them and hit those guys in the short passing game. And, some of that worked and some of that didn't, obviously. And then we went back to the run game a little more in that last drive with the 7 minutes to go. Still had to throw the ball to get the conversions and get what we needed. But we felt like, we just weren't getting what we needed in the run game. We weren't hitting our targets as well as we should. And that's across the board. That's not just with the O-line. And so we had to get something going in the air a little bit. And we felt Parker was humming a little bit and wanted to give him an opportunity to get the balls to our receivers in space.
Yeah, and Coach, just talk about what are the big key points of this game to pick up a victory. What are you guys going to focus on mainly against Austin Peay?
Well, I think anytime, obviously, you got to know what they're doing and you got to preach to them, the different looks that they give you on all 3 phases of the game. But, we've got to continue to worry about us. And I know that's not, popular and it's kind of boring, but, our consistency and performance is what we have to do. And we've got to eliminate the critical errors. We've got to eliminate those things. And if we do that, we've got a good football team. We have to continue to work in those moments of not doing the things that we did to create problems for us. And I think, Austin Peay's a really good football team. They've done a great job. Coach Walton's done a really good job of the energy that they play with. They play with a fast tempo. So we got to be prepared for that. We understand how that's going to be. We've talked to people they've played. We've talked to, and we followed through this because this will be my first time and our staff's first time against this group. So we have to do those things on defense. We know they're going to bring pressure and they're going to drop 8. So we have to be involved in all that and ready for that. But bottom line is we have to go in and continue to play as hard as we played the other night, eliminate the critical mistakes. And then we have to make some plays on offense, and we're going to have to make some plays, just like Davion made in the pick 6. I mean, he made a play there. We needed that because we gave a possession away with the punt. And we gained a possession with the pick 6. So we traded those 2 off. Well, it'd be nice to be ahead of 1, right? And not have that critical error that we had on the block punt. So, it's things like that we have to do a better job of, and make sure that we have a total understanding of what we do and then go execute that.
And before we get to Parker, just a quick note on Coach mentioned the atmosphere. The 14,173 fans on Saturday was EKU's largest home crowd since 2014. And it's the 5th largest crowd at Roy Kent Stadium since 2005. So just a couple of notes on that.
Parker, just, what did you see in the atmosphere the other night? And what was it like to be home with a full crowd, this year?
Oh, it was extremely fun. Obviously we had a ton of people in the fans. We had a student section over there. So honestly, it was the most fun atmosphere. Obviously I've played in my 4 years here, and we're just thankful all the fans came out, and especially the students. The students made a huge difference over there. So we just hope that they keep coming out for us.
Parker, before the Hewitt touchdown right at the end of the game, you made a incredible play where you spun 2 different times to get a big run to set up the touchdown run. What was going through your mind on that play, and where did you learn those moves to kind of get away from the defense there?
I really don't know where I learned them from. They just kind of happened. But remember after the first spin, I spun in the pocket, and I was expecting to get hit right afterwards. So I kind of did it a little slower and was expecting to get hit, and then afterwards I kind of just seen it open up and took off. But honestly, if you go back and watch the play, there's 2 key blocks that really allowed it to happen. I know Dakota Allen had one downfield, and if he doesn't get that block, then obviously we probably don't get the first down right there and have to end up kicking a field goal. So there's 2 key blocks that really just sprung that play for me.
Will you walk us through the run game you guys have right now? It didn't fire totally. Obviously against U of L, you're behind the chain, or behind the score, so you got to throw it a little bit more maybe. But against Indiana State, Coach said the run game just didn't really fire. What did not fire with it?
I just feel like as far as our run game goes, there's just a few things that we're just missing here and there, just a few missed assignments here and there. And I think that those are 2 things that we're going to get corrected. And I think going into this week, we're going to expect to have a lot better of a run game.
Parker, what do you see from this Austin Peay team that makes them so tough?
So obviously, they're a top 25 team. They're ranked, and they have a good defense. They have a All-American on their team, number 13 is All-American. Then honestly, they're just multiple on defense. 3 down, they'll bring pressure. They'll drop 8. They'll play a bunch of different coverages. And one thing I think is our defense really prepares us for teams like that, because our defense, they're pretty multiple too. So in practice, you see all sorts of different blitzes, all sorts of different coverages. So I really think our defense will help prepare us for this game too.
Yeah, Parker, talk about too, you seem very confident in the pocket this year, staying in there, getting hit a few times when you're throwing the ball. But, talk about the connection you have too with your wide receivers. You got Dakota Allen now as tight end, you have connection with him from quarterback. So talk about those connections there and how important that is to help you on the offense.
Obviously it's just huge having trust in the receivers that you have out there. And last year, we lost 3 key receivers from last year. So we had some new guys come in, some guys step up in different roles. So obviously just during the off season, it was just, getting timing down with them, getting trust in them through practice and through knowing what catches they're going to make and that kind of stuff. So I think that has more to do with it than anything, is just having confidence and having trust in those guys to go make plays whenever I throw the ball their way.
Go ahead, Michael.
Parker, were you worried about Coach Wells running down the hill, or had you guys practiced
that? No, we had practiced it once before. I can't say I was necessarily worried about Coach Wells. I was worried about some of our players running down the hill and tripping and then just causing a kind of domino effect. But I'm glad it worked out well for us, though.
So where did you position yourself just in case that happened?
Oh, well, I was on the field, so the captains, we didn't get to run out. We were waiting on the coin toss. Unfortunately, we were all kind of bummed. We all were ready to run out, but we were on the field.
Well, Coach was up there in front of everybody, and he was going crazy. He was getting everybody fired up, and I'm like, man, I hope he can make it down before the players kind of, stampede over top of him or something.
Yeah.
Well, Davion, I got to start with that then. What was it like running down the hill, and was there any concern that you had?
No, it was a cool experience going down here, just like y'all was saying earlier, like Parker was saying about the little domino effect about everybody falling. I was one of the ones in the back just in case that did happen.
We'll talk about your pick 6. Obviously that was a big play in the game, and the defense made a couple of big plays there in the first half. And then just talk about the way that shook out and the momentum that you guys had. It seemed like the momentum shifts in the game were happening quite a bit. You all would make a big play, then they would make a big play.
The pick 6, That was a cool experience because that was my first pick and it was a pick six. Coach he called the play. It was like a little cover two play, and I baited the quarterback. I seen a number two receiver come out. I baited him, and I just came up, caught the ball, and made a play.
Yeah, and Davion, talk about too, the crowd out there, all the fans. So how important is that for you guys to have that fan experience out there and that to motivate you guys, especially having a 4-game road stand? It's going to be important, isn't it?
The fans, they're a very big part of the game. The fans bring all the energy. They get the players hype. Without the fans, really nothing would be possible for real.
Just talk about Austin P. First off, just, trying to take down a top 25 team and going up against a quarterback that coach said can kind of do it all.
Well, Austin P, they're a very good team. They offense, they throw the ball a lot, but I have very good confidence in the back end, like the safeties and all the corners. Everybody's very well experienced and all that. But we just have to come to practice this weekend and just work even harder to get the W.
You had a couple of big returns, including that 39-yard return that kind of, it's another one of those momentum shifts in the game. Talk about the way that you're able to play defense, but also be involved in the return game and how important that is to you as well.
Kickoff return, when they kick it to me, first of all, none of that would never happen if it wasn't for my blockers. So I really like to thank my blockers for that. They blocked, they executed, and I made a play. And defense, going from kickoff return to defense, I'll be tired here and there, but players just gotta show up and just make plays.